This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 2nd, is a NFL quarterback who's still playing to this day. He actually started his college football career not at the University of California like people think. I'll get to that later. He set a lot of records for the Cal Golden Bears and was picked in the first round of the 2005 draft by the Packers. And he's still with the Packers to this day. So he hasn't played for any other team. He's now 39 years old and actually has a minority stake in the Milwaukee Bucks, plus being the holder of an NBA Finals ring when the Bucks won in 2021. He is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, as I said, is now 39 years old. He was voted four-time league MVP in 2011, 2014, 2020, and 2021. Shocking, he would win consecutive seasons. Only Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Jim Brown, and Joe Montana won back-to-back MVPs. He was actually second in touchdown passes in the postseason, behind you-know-who. So anyhow, he was born in Chico, California, in December 1983. He is of English, Irish, and German ancestry. And all that. Anyway, he enjoyed himself. In college, he wanted to compete. He was actually given a chance he wanted to go to Florida State, but was rejected because of his 5'10" stature. He was given a walk-on chance by the University of Illinois and declined it. He actually considered quitting football to play baseball, or even just giving up on sports and going to law school. But then Butte Community College in Oroville, which was 15 miles southeast of his birthplace, said, hey, let's play. So he played for Butte Community College at a number 2 national ranking. In fact, he was recruited by Cal's head coach Jeff Tedford, who was looking for the tight end. But, because of the good scholastic record, Rodgers was allowed to transfer to UCal Berkeley after 1 year of junior college. So he would play 3 years at Cal. He would help the Golden Bears out. He was 7-3 as a starter. And actually got injured in his second career start against number 3 USC. He still had them up 21-7. Thankfully, Cal would win in triple overtime 34-31. But still, he looked pretty good. He was the MVP for Cal when they won the Insight Bowl against Virginia Tech. In 2004, they only had one loss, and that was to USC. He set an NCAA record with 23 consecutive pass completions. He tried. Cal was ranked 4th, but Cal surprisingly got passed over for the Rose Bowl, which was shocking. I mean, Michigan was waiting for them. It usually is a Big Ten Pac-12 matchup. Surprised Cal got passed over for Texas. Although Texas and Michigan did play a great Rose Bowl, it still wasn't the same with a Pac-12 team not there. Cal went to the Holiday Bowl, but shockingly lost to Texas Tech. And Aaron Rodgers said, screw it, I'm going to enter the NFL draft. And he did. People thought he would be an early pick in the 2005 draft and all that. San Francisco had the number 1 pick and took a quarterback, but they took Alex Smith. Rodgers would really slide down. He ended up being 24th pick by the Packers. It was one of the biggest stories of the draft, his sliding and all that. Though he was still the second quarterback selected. A lot of teams actually had pressing needs other than quarterback. So anyway, Rodgers signed a 5-year, $7.7 million contract, which was weird because, he knew he would be backing up Brett Favre. So anyway, Rodgers saw little action and all of that. There were rumors circulating that Aaron Rodgers would be traded to Oakland for Randy Moss. I mean, Oakland needed a quarterback because Jamarcus Russell was not really doing it. However, Moss would be traded to the Pats instead, and Rodgers stayed in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers would get the door open to being the starter for the Packers when Brett Favre decided to retire. Of course, Favre did decide to return from the NFL to the NFL and was traded to the Jets. So Aaron Rodgers still was the starter and all that. Rodgers made his debut as a starter when the Packers beat the Vikings at Lambeau 24-19. And no, that wasn't when Favre came back, because Favre was with the Jets. Rodgers had 157 consecutive pass attempts without a touch interception streak, which was third behind Bart Starr and Brett Favre. Anyway, Rodgers would then sign a 6-year, $65 million deal with the Packers in 2008. So anyway, the 2009 Green Bay Packers looked good. They got 461 total points, which was actually a new franchise record. All that. The Packers would face the Cardinals, and in one of the greatest NFL playoff games ever, it was a showdown. Unfortunately for Rodgers, he threw a game-ending interception. Wow, it was a fumble. Carl Stansby for the Cardinals ran it in for the touchdown, 51-45, game over. It is the highest scoring playoff game in NFL history to this day. 96 points. Rodgers was the starter for the NFC in the Pro Bowl, with Favre dropping out due to injury and Brees being replaced because he was in the Super Bowl. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers would have a tough year for 2010. The Packers were 8-6 and needed to win their last two games to make the playoffs. And it worked. They took care of the Giants and Bears and made it in as the 6th seed. They would go to the wildcard game against the Philadelphia Eagles and lose and beat them 21-16. Aaron Rodgers would put up a great performance, 366 yards and 4 touchdowns against the number 1 seed Atlanta Falcons in the divisional round and blew them out 48-21. And then the Packers went into Chicago and beat their old rivals 21-14 to get to the Super Bowl, where we would take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Packers, tough game, but the Packers won 31-25. Aaron Rodgers, 24 for 39, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the MVP. So he did his job. So anyway, Rodgers would do pretty well for himself. They put up 560 points in the 2011 season, the Packers did, which is the third most, behind only the 2007 Pats and the 2013 Broncos. But the Packers were taken out by the Giants, 37-20 in the divisional round. Yes, this was the year that Green Bay was 15-1. It was like, holy crow. Amazing. That team 15-1, the 5th team in NFL history to do so, got 15 wins. And all that. That was great. Here's the thing. The 2011 Packers became the only team in NFL history to win at least 15 games and not even win a playoff game. The Giants would go on to win the Super Bowl against my Pats, pissing me off in the process. But anyway, yeah. I even said that the Giants were going to beat the Packers because I'm like, I've seen this movie before. And I was right. Anyway. The Packers in 2012 got to be the 3 seed and lost the divisional round to the Niners. Rodgers was given a 5-year extension, $110 million, making him the highest paid player in NFL history in 2013. And Aaron Rodgers made a big play in the regular season finale because the winner of the Packers-Bears would win the NFC North. Down by 1 with a minute to go. On a 4th and 8, Rodgers connected with Randall Cobb for the touchdown to clinch the NFC North and would host the Niners as the 4th seed. But the Niners would get them again on a last-second field goal. Rodgers would win the MVP in 2014. And the Packers had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. They were up by 12 late in the game against the Seahawks, but a terrible gaffe on a onside kick by the Packers returner made sure the Seahawks won in overtime. 2015, he was known for 2 Hail Marys. The first one was against the Lions in Week 13. Now, it was kind of controversial because it was a ticky-tacky penalty that, the Lions got penalized on defensive call, and you can't end a game on a defensive penalty. So Rodgers threw a 61-yard Hail Mary to Richard Rodgers. No relation. And then, as the 5th seed, they took care of Washington to go to the division round in Arizona. And then, with no time left in the game, Rodgers threw a Hail Mary to Jeff Janis. And it was amazing. 2 great Hail Marys in a row. Unfortunately, that did not win the game. That just forced the game to overtime, which the Cardinals won. But still, he did pretty good. Aaron Rodgers in 2016 helped the Packers get to the NFC title game, but they lost to the Falcons, who then lost to the Pats in that famous 28-3 game at the Super Bowl. In 2017, he was injured because of his broken collarbone, so that shattered Green Bay's confidence. Rodgers would still sign a 4-year deal in 2018 to extend his contract. So, yeah, we got that. 2019, they went to the NFC title game but lost to San Francisco. 2020, in the COVID year, he won the MVP, having the Packers win the NFC North in the first round bye. In the divisional round, he crushed the Rams, but shockingly lost to the Buccaneers, 31-26, as Brady took care of Rodgers. Rodgers would be 1-4 in conference championship games, become the first quarterback in NFL history to lose 4 in a row. I know the Eagles lost 3 in a row at one point in the 2000s, but not for McNabb. But McNabb got the winning touchdown, helped the Eagles win in 2005. So anyway, still fighting with COVID and all that. He helped the Packers make the playoffs and lost to the Niners in the divisional round. It was just terrible how Aaron Rodgers couldn't beat the team from California, the state of his birth. He still won the MVP, though. And this year, the Packers have been very terrible and all that. So in games right now, as of right now, from 2005 to 2022, still actively, he's 143, 74, and 1 as a starter. He's thrown for 58,000 touchdowns, 58,000 passing yards. Why am I saying that? 470 yards. But here's the funny thing. He's only thrown 102 interceptions. He's thrown 9 this year. The most since 2010 when he threw 11. He had 1 more interception, and Rodgers will have his first double-digit interception total since 2010. Can you imagine? That's something Tom Brady never did. Go through 12 straight years without throwing less than 10 interceptions. In the postseason, he's 11-10. A lot of losses to the Niners, though. 45 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Still pretty good. So he has the NFL records for most seasons of 35-plus touchdown passes, 6, 40-plus, 3, and 45-plus, 2. Most consecutive pass attempts without an interception, 402. If you throw 30 passes a game, that's like 13 games. Most passing yards in their first 5 years as a starter, their NFL record, 21,332 by him. Fewest games to 300 touchdowns, 144. Fewest games to 400 passing touchdowns, 193. And best interception percentage in a year in 2018 with 0.3. He only threw 2 interceptions that whole 2018 season, despite the fact the Packers were 6-9-1. Shows you how much their ground game didn't really work. So yeah, Super Bowl MVP, 4-time MVP. He did his job. All that. In fact, December 12, 2012 was named Aaron Rodgers Day because of 12-12-12. Rodgers has 2 brothers. One of them played quarterback for Vanderbilt and actually was on Jacksonville and Tampa's rosters. Aaron Rodgers was in a relationship with Olivia Munn, the actress, and former NASCAR driver Danica Patrick. And dated actress Shailene Woodley, but they've called off their engagement. So yeah, he didn't really like the COVID-19 shots. I mean, fair enough. In fact, Aaron Rodgers had a 2 week stint hosting Jeopardy and all that, and I believe he was on the Connors. Yeah, he was on the Connors when Jackie got to be on the show and made a joke at Aaron Rodgers' expense because Rodgers was a Packers quarterback and Jackie and them are from Chicago. Aaron Rodgers took part in an exhibition match play match team of Bryson DeChambeau against Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson, and Rodgers won the match. The sixth edition saw Rodgers and Brady versus Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and fortunately for Aaron Rodgers, he went 2-0. All that. So yeah. So Aaron Rodgers is a special guy. I mean, he hosted Jeopardy for God's sake. You know, he's still going to be a good quarterback, and he better stay with one team, unlike a certain other Green Bay quarterback of legendary status. No, I'm not talking about Stark because Bart Stark only played for the Packers. I'm talking about that guy, of course. Anyway, I'm jumping. I'm going to do.